Okay. Uh, right. So, good morning, everyone. So today, so we'll be talking about this. We are currently discussing about the agile methodology, right? In that, this is agile is something which is part of SDLC process. SDLC, again, SDLC having models, multiple models, out of which waterfall model and agile model is one of the important models which generally being used in the real time. And we already discussed in detail about waterfall model. What is the waterfall model used for, what are the advantages and disadvantages, right? So based on the disadvantages of water model, the agile has become more popular in the market. So if someone wants to understand what is agile, they need to understand what are the agile manifesto, what is agile methodology, what is the mindset of agile. If someone wants to implement agile, what are those core values and core principles that they have to follow, right? So we have discussed agile is something which is a iterative, right, and incremental approach. So Agile says instead of planning the whole project as a whole, plan your project in small pieces and develop, develop, implement, testing, complete, doing the small pieces of requirements and deliver the small pieces to the customer. Right. We also discussed about what are the cross-functional teams and who is the product owner, what is the product backlog document and what is the sprint backlog document, what are the backlogs documents. As the name itself says, this is not, which is something which is actually meaning backlog. See, in Agile, backlog is something which is having a current requirements of this project. So this talks about the current information. Backlog is not something which is pending. Okay, so moving ahead, there are four values that we have discussed. Four values. As a tester, we should not be worrying about exactly the naming convention, but we should have a knowledge of what are those four values and what are those 12 principles. So out of the 12 principles, this is one of the important principles. When you go for an interview, people will ask, what are the principles of agile that you know? So you should tell the first one is the customer satisfaction, right? So the agile, accepts the changes at any point of time. So it suggests, right, the continuous development, continuous delivery, CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous development. Okay, so that is the process of main the agile, where it gives a continuous feedback from the customer, because we will be developing the pieces, bits and pieces, and those pieces, the bits and pieces, are given a demo to the customer. The demo, again, we get a feedback. Then that feedback is given to the developer and testing team. Again, that feedback is implemented in the round two. This is what happens till all the requirements are completed and delivered to the customer. Right. So the next one is this very, very important one. We welcome change in the requirements. At any point of time, Agile will not stop the customer in providing the change in the requirement. So any change that customer is asking at any stage, any point of time, as a as a manager, as a developer, as a tester, you should incorporate those changes into your current project. So that's where Agile always welcome changes in the requirements. The other one, deliver working software frequently. So we do, as I gave you an example of 10 requirements. Out of 10, two requirements are picked up in the product backlog document. Like this, we have total five, two in a sense, there are five in total cycles. We will deliver all 10 requirements. So each cycle will have two requirements where we deliver a working software frequently. Based on the timelines, let's say these two requirements should be delivered every month, then it is a 5 months, we will be delivering these 10 requirements. Right. So based on the timelines that we decide with the customer, it might be couple of weeks to couple of months. That's what the sentence says on the slide. Right. It depends on what customer is preferring. Right? So we will be delivering the software frequently. Now the another one, which is Agile always suggests that developers should work together, product owners should work together, right? The testers should work together. So whole team should be working together to deliver this project. And importantly here, there will be a change in the way people people will be talking about the agile, right? So normally in real-time projects, right? So so far we call ourselves as a project team. But whenever you see an agile implementation, whenever you see agile methodology implemented in the projects, we call ourselves as a Scrum team. Scrum team, SCRUM team, Scrum team. So going forward in any project or any company you're working, if someone is saying Scrum team, then it means that that project is executed in the agile methodology. So Scrum team shortcut they call ST, Scrum team. It means they are implementing the Scrum framework. Now I told you, right? Agile is a methodology, Scrum is a framework. Agile is a knowledge, Agile is a theory, Scrum is a practical. So practicality means you see by yourself. Scrum team, one developer, one tester, one lead, one architect, based on the project requirement, right? So ideally, Scrum team says there should be minimum of 9 people only, not more than that. Or sometimes it is six or five, 6 to 9 people. Okay. It will be one or two developers, one tester. That is like 50% of number of developers working in the project. It will be 50% of them will be the tester. If there are 5 developers working on it, there will be maximum 2 developers. If 2 developers are working on it, testing team will be only one person. If 10 developers are working, it will be only two or three, max two or three testers. Okay, it's always 50% of what the development team is. Okay, so we all call ourselves as a Scrum team. So going forward, you'll have uh, please join Scrum team. Please join for the calls. It means so you are called as a Scrum team. Scrum team is again all the developers, testers, together product owner, product Scrum master, Scrum. Everyone will come under Scrum team. Okay, so like we have project manager in normal projects, SDLC models, and normal React. Other than agile models, we have a project manager. But in when we see this agile methodology, agile mindset, and the Scrum implementation, so we have a Scrum master. So we'll not have a project manager in the agile methodology. But ideally, it is for theory part, it is a Scrum master. But the core companies who very rigid in implementing agile will have a scrum master. Otherwise, we still see the project managers working in a companies. Example, myself. No, I execute almost 6 to 7 projects on day-to-day basis. All are lengthy projects. I have team working almost you know 10 to 12 people in each project. So I manage day-to-day around 40 to 55 resources in projects, and all projects are like Australia, US, Australia, and Europe projects. So though we follow agile, right, but still we have a project manager who's managing the project, right? So it is not hardcore rule that no, we should have a scrum master, but that again, how seriously your organization is implementing agile, how seriously your company is following agile principles, that matters a lot. Okay. Now I just told real time example. My company follows agile. We follow all product backlog. We follow all sprint backlogs. We follow all the timelines. We follow all the principles. We follow Jira for using to implement agile. Jira is the best tool. So we follow Jira. We follow. I just showed you yesterday, right? Backlog. How do we create backlogs? So where we create those backlogs? What is the backlogs? We create all those principles. And again, very, very, very important when we say that agile. See, when we say agile, agile is a knowledge. When we say, uh, someone is talking about agile, hey, that project is running under agile, it means that Scrum framework should be implemented. Now, what are those Scrum framework? Now, when we say agile, it means that 4 values, 12 principles should be followed. Okay. But in reality, what is a practical? Scrum framework should be implemented. Now, what is that Scrum framework? Now, under the Scrum framework, we have a Scrum ceremonies that you need to follow that we'll discuss in detail in upcoming sessions. So this is how it shows that you have agile mindset. If you say if you're following agile, it means that there are 4 values in your mind. 12 principles in your mind where your project is executed on those principles and values. And when we say agile is implemented, it means that the Scrum framework is implemented. We say, 1 minute. When we say the Scrum framework is implemented, it means that all the Scrum ceremonies that are followed. Okay. Now, what are those Scrum ceremonies that we'll discuss? Okay. So moving ahead, Agile always says that we should work together so that we can deliver together. Then we'll have a customer satisfaction. The next one is again trust support. All the team members are motivated. It's a self-organizing team that we discussed yesterday. Right? So always customer trust us that we give them a proper solution. We give them a proper sorry, we give them a proper recommendations on all the project activities. We give them an environment where where customer can happily work with us. We give them our team that they can work happily and deliver things. So we don't do a micromanagement in agile. We don't say that, hey, what are you doing, what you did in last 1 hour, what you did in last 2 hours, right? So as I said yesterday, so we are all self-organizing team, so we don't need anyone to be behind us. We don't need anyone to take care of our things, just like the way we manage our family, right? So if we have a family and kids, if you have parents, it is our responsibility to do it, right? In spite of not telling someone to do it, you do it yourself. You do your home related stuff on your own because you feel so responsible. Same way, the project also expect the same thing. You don't need someone to remind what to do. You don't need someone to remind whether you have completed it or not. Don't need someone to say what is going on. Did you blocked somewhere? So it is all self-organizing team where you need to come up with your blockers. You need to say upfront, hey, no, you told me to do this, but I checked and this is not working for me. I need this in order to complete the task. So this is how you have to come back on anything that you need if you are not able to complete the task. Yeah, again, see, Agile always prefer to have one-to-one conversation if anything is not working, or a face-to-face conversation if it's not working. It's always good to it is more effective than connecting on virtual. So because of this the COVID and because of other areas, the most of the teams are working virtually. Otherwise, we'll be working on face-to-face conversations. We have covered all this yesterday. Okay, is a primary. We covered this. We delivered working software. We said agile process promotes us. We also did that development should happen in inconsistent, right? So every day we should deliver, every time test cases should be executed, right? So testers and developers should do their activity on their own. So technical excellence is something, if something is not working, right? So make sure that we call out. We have discussed this self-organizing, right? Okay, this is not important. Okay, so yeah, so majorly this will be your interview question in the whenever you go for a interview, right? People will ask. You can gather this from this slide, you take photograph, or you can make a note or whatever, uh, or you can Google it. You can get more number of advantages, but try to mug up all this. It is very very important. So, what are the important changes of the agile? Okay, so don't want to again discuss the same thing. We already did that. Yeah, so this is another disadvantage, very very important, right? So when compared to the SDLC process, which is a normal, right? When you compare to other models, right? So Agile says no to the documentation. Very, very important. So Agile doesn't say that you should have this particular document. Agile doesn't say that uh, you should have this particular document. Very, very less documentation. One product backlog document, one sprint backlog document, and the test cases or merge cases, right? So here there is generally don't follow concept of RTM. Generally, they don't follow a concept of preparing a FRS. So here, just everything is a very, very minimal documentation. Product backlog, sprint backlog, right? So there will be kind of test cases, and there will be documentation on the technical side, very few, and we'll have a sprint planning. Again, that will not be a documentation. That's again a process. So again, it is very important that compared to other models, Agile doesn't you know uh, encourage the documentation, right? And again, very important is something, right? This is two way. One, having knowledge mandatory is always good, but having knowledge and getting the resource who's having a knowledge is always uh, you know it is a risk. Example, you perform interviews, right? So few people come from the agile sorry, waterfall model. They doesn't know at all what is agile, how it is implemented, and it is very risky. When someone is not understanding agile, they cannot work in the project. It's not like waterfall, or it's not like the typical traditional model where the requirements are collected in a 1 month, then the discovery happens, then the designing happens. No, it is a lot of time in a normal traditional model, but in agile it is not like that. Everything will complete in 15 days. Trust me, everything will be completed in 15 days, and 16th day there will be a delivery. It means, I'll tell you how this the timelines are designed in agile. Okay, so it is very very crucial. It is you cannot take rest in agile. You cannot relax. You cannot be relaxed. Every day you should be on toes. Developer will have a fixed deadline to complete this. Example, if 15 days. So in 15 days, it's only 10 working days. 2 weeks is 15 days. So you have only 10 days, 10 working days. In the 10 working days, that requirement will be collected for, let's say, two requirements are prioritized, two requirements are collected, two requirements are analyzed, two requirements are developed. Now developer will have 4 to 5 days in the 10 days, right? In the meantime, you will be writing the test cases. Now somewhere around sixth or seventh day, you will be receiving that build, right? So you hardly have another 2 days to execute the test cases. Right. Now, sixth day you receive your build. Sixth and seventh you do the testing. You will raise a defect. Let's say there are X number of defects that needs to be fixed within seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. These are the four days where all the defects should be fixed. And very, very importantly, if there are any defects fixed, as a tester, you should test it. If there are any reopen, you have to assign back to the developer. Everything should happen in next 4 days. And on 10th day, we will be telling to the customer, boss, we are ready for the demo. On the Monday, like on the next following day, the customer will have the demo on the two requirements. So this is how it is planned. We will discuss more detail in Scrum going forward. But yes, just at a high level, as a tester, if you don't understand these timelines, right? Or example, developer doesn't understand these timelines, so it is very very typical why we are getting only 2 weeks of time. Why should I work only in these 4 days? Why there is no extra deadline? Why there is no deviation in the deadline? Just like another project, you can't get one extra day for the development. You can't get one extra day for the testing, even though it is late night, even though it is Sunday, holiday, working day, whatever. That has to be delivered at any cost. Though that all depends the how the planning is happening, right? Your Scrum Master who is doing the planning, the project manager who is doing the planning should upfront incorporate those leaves. Example on ninth day. Example on ninth day there is a government holiday or some holiday. He'll let the customer know. Was ninth day is a customer like the uh, offshore team is on going on leave, or offshore is having a holiday. What should we do? If customer says just 1 minute, I need to take a call. 1 minute. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we will discuss in more detail about Scrum. So you need to understand that how you are fitting, like you understand how you fit as a tester inside this SDLC process. You should understand very in detail where you fit it in the Scrum framework. Okay, that we'll discuss in further classes. The project can easily taken off if track if the customer representative is not clear what final outcome they want. And again, this is a normal normal condition. Every customer, if he doesn't like what is the output, definitely he'll have an opportunity to reject it. That's the clause which is generally mentioned in the contract. But again, in agile, right? So the chances are very less because every month we give a demo. Every month there will be a feedback. If customer is rejecting the whole project, right? He should reject it in the first delivery only, right? Let's say that we are planning to deliver this 10 requirements in 5 months. Each month we're taking two requirements. The first month itself, if customer is not clear, customer is not understanding, he should reject, right? Because our team generally will give a demo, and in the demo, we'll take his acceptance. Hey, customer, are you fine with this demo? Or do you have any feedback? Then customer says, yes, I'm very much fine. This all will be recorded. Every demo will be recorded. There will be email sent, right? There is a demo, scheduled demo. All the business people will be involved. Whoever has given the requirements, whoever has given sponsor, who has given the money to the project, right? Everyone will be there in the demo. Everyone will give their sign off. This is very important. Everyone will give their sign off for the demo. Then only we'll move to the next work, right? Next two requirements. Now, customer cannot say in the last month all eight requirements are delivered and he has accepted, and the uh, last month another two requirements are in progress. Customer cannot come back and say, "Hey, I'm confused. I don't know what is going on. I'm not familiar with the product, what you are being developed," right? He cannot say that because eight requirements has been accepted. Obviously, the other two will be in this pipeline. He just needs to accept that. Right? If there any flag he needs to raise, he needs to first raise it in the first demo itself. Okay. All right. Any confusion so far?
No, Vinay.
No, Vinod.
Yeah. So I said, right, every iteration, right? What we do, I just told like we do requirements, designing, blah blah, right? This is the cycle of each iteration. So every iteration, now let's say 10 requirements are there, right? Now each, let's say sprint, the product owner said that, hey, first you pick these two requirements. So the two requirements first will be requirement gathering is done. For those two requirements, we will have a planning. For those two requirements, we'll do the designing. For the two requirements, we'll do the development, then release. Now see here, there is no testing phase at all. Do you see any testing phase here? No. Specifically, there is no testing phase. This is what Agile about, right? But in reality, there will be testing, right? Just before deployment and release, there will be testing phase. This is the Agile generic framework. Okay, these are very important in respective to Agile, right? For the project managers and Agile coach or who's very senior role in project management background or agile coach background. These are four very, very important methodologies, right? They called as extreme programming XP, feature driven FDD, Kanban, and Scrum. So depends on what kind of projects that you're working, right? These methods are picked up. Example, Kanban is again a methodology which generally speak about the projects which are in support. When I say support, once the project is delivered, right, under the maintenance, right? So what we do, we support whenever if any issues are raised while the application is in production. Now that all comes under the support projects. All the support projects are managed with the help of this Kanban methodology. Again, so let's not get into in detail because we don't need this. And so very important. I think the topic came right now. So just wanted to please make a note of this, right? So when you go for an interview, right, or before for the interview preparation and all, just study the job requirement. If you see anywhere it is written that we are looking for a tester to work in the support projects, do not apply or do not appear for the interview. But once you get good experience in testing, let's say after 2 to 3 years, you are very much comfortable working, all your communication skills, all your testing skills, all your troubles in working has been achieved. You don't have any problem in working in testing projects. Then you pick up the support projects. Support projects is not very easy projects to work. Every ticket, every ticket that is being raised will have a deadline. So it is very pressure projects where you cannot survive so easily. So irrespective of Saturday, Sunday, day, night, you have to work whenever a ticket is coming. Irrespective of anything, even if you're at functions, you're at some kind of family function, whatever it is, irrespective of any situation you are in, if there is any ticket comes in, manager, developer, right, testers, scrum masters, everyone should be working and delivering those tickets. And now I'm managing, all my projects are support projects only. Whatever I'm managing, it's all support projects. And I managed my the other project while I was in Australia. I was managing the support projects with very closely working with customers. All big headache. All team members. There will be WhatsApp group. There will be Teams group. There will be email group. Every ticket, everything is coming. It is escalation. It is, you need to get into a call immediately the moment you get a ticket. So it is very very risky at this stage to get into a support project. So please make a note of whenever you're reading the job requirements in Naukri, or whenever someone is calling, if they're saying that we are looking for a testers who want to work in a support projects. And and while working in a company, right, what they do, right, they keep shuffling here and there. If they say, hey, we are planning to move you to the support project, so it means that it is a very, I just told you, right, what are support projects. So while working, right, or while attending the interview, make sure you're not picking up the support projects soon. Hope you understand the severity of the support projects, right? Okay. Now, now the what's the time now? 10:37. Okay. So I want you to be very focused here. I want to be very focused. And please make sure you make a note. You have many videos, many thing in Google. Okay, so there is nothing to worry about it. But you can ask questions, or you can see what is going on in a real time here. We have a real time discussion, right? But you have a lot of information in Google to search with, right? I was just telling, when someone is telling that their project is running in agile, it means that's the mindset. Agile is the principle, that is the process, that is a methodology. You can't see with your eyes. But when someone says agile, it means the Scrum framework is implemented. Now, framework, see the automation, when you go for automation testing, also it is a framework there. Here also we're talking framework. See, framework is something, the set of rules. Framework is something, a set of guidelines. Framework is something, there is a procedure that needs to be followed. So within that guidelines, right, the automation will be executed. Within that guidelines, the Scrum is executed. Now, the framework, where it is falling is more important. If it is falling under automation, then it's a different framework. Then it is falling under Scrum, it's a different framework. Right? Framework can be a generic word used across any industry. Right now, if someone says agile, it means a Scrum framework should be implemented. If Scrum framework is being implemented, it means there are a Scrum ceremonies. Ceremonies are nothing but events. Ceremonies are nothing but events. If the set, whatever is coming now, is followed, then it means the Scrum framework is followed. When they say Scrum framework is followed, it means the agile methodology is followed. In the interview, they will ask what are the different Scrum ceremonies that you have followed in your past organization. What are the Scrum ceremonies that you followed in your current organization? What is a Scrum ceremonies? Can you please explain? There will be lot of questions on the Scrum ceremonies. Please make a note or try to listen carefully. Okay. The first one is sprint planning. Now, you might be hearing for the first time the word called sprint. So generally, sprint is something in a small piece, a small bottle of wine or a small bottle or a small thing generally. Okay. Now, what it means? It means now the whole project. Now there might be lot of requirements. Example, we are taking there are 10 requirements in the project. In the 10 requirements, now all not all 10 requirements are planned together, discussed together, delivered together. That is not the model of the agile. Agile, what it says, boss, you divide whole project into a bits and pieces, right? Now, now they gave a good name for those bits and pieces. Now, those two requirements, correct? The you two requirements, you do the planning, then you do the designing, then you do the development, everything, blah blah blah, all the phases. Now, that iteration, that small piece of work, right from start to delivery, we call that as a sprint, right? That small piece of work which we start the requirements to delivery, we call that as a sprint, right? Now, sprint is a time boxed environment. The time is ticking every day. Time is ticking every day. The moment sprint is started. Now example, there is a 2 weeks. Kindly understand, there is a 2 weeks of sprint. Now I'll be just before this slide, I never used the word sprint because it might be confusing. I said small pieces of work. Now going forward from now, I'll be using a word called sprint. Now you understand sprint is a time box environment. It is a time ticking process, right? Now in the sprint, right? In the sprint, now now, instead of calling a product backlog, now going forward, we call that as a sprint backlog, right? Now, we're generally calling as we generally call as a backlog, right? Now we're calling as a sprint backlog, right? Now, from the product backlog, let's say there are 10 requirements. Out of the 10 requirements, the product owner said, hey boss, product owner will generally prepare a document. We know that is a product backlog. Okay. Now, 1 minute, let me check if there any slide on it that will be helpful for you. Let me check. Hmm. Yeah, there is a slide. Let me that will finish off in next 15 minutes. Let's complete this part. Then we'll jump into the right now. So now we understand there's a sprint. Now every sprint, now we know what is a sprint. Now every sprint needs to be planned. So sprint planning is led by the Scrum Master. Okay. Sprint planning is led by the Scrum Master. What happens in the sprint planning? Like this is same as a kickoff meeting. If you remember kickoff meeting, which happens in the SDLC process, same thing happens in the sprint planning. In the sprint planning, as kickoff meeting is a bigger meeting, which happens for the whole requirements. Sprint planning is a small meeting, which happens for the smaller requirements in the whole project. Now we have taken the two requirements. So the sprint planning, those two requirements will be discussed in detail. Your Scrum Master will start the discussion. Hey, this is the first requirement, developer. There are this under this one requirement, there are multiple things. So do we understand what we need? Right. Everything will be discussed. In this sprint, like in kickoff meeting, we discuss start project, end date of the project. We discuss who will be playing the role in developer, who will be playing the role as a tester, right? Same thing will happen. The sprint planning. The sprint planning will see whether these two requirements, how this can be delivered. These two requirements should be delivered. If customer says, I want like, or a scrum master already has prepared a plan. Now it is, let's say, example of 5 months project. 1 month we have to deliver this sprint. This is a 1 month sprint. In the interview, people will ask, what is your sprint structure? You should say whether you followed 1 month sprint structure, 15 days sprint structure. So you should say, my sprint was 15 days. My sprint was 1 month. Now, what do you mean by that? Within that 15 days, sprint planning is happening, designing is happening, development is happening, testing is happening, right? Now, we are discussing about the Scrum ceremonies, which means if you follow this Scrum ceremonies, it means that Agile is implemented. Right. Now, what is first one? Sprint planning. We know what is planned there. Who will be the developer? What are the requirements that we need to develop? When is your start date of the development? When is your end date of the development? When testing team should be starting? When team should be delivering? When there will be a demo. Before that, there will be one more meeting happens in this that we will discuss now. Right now, Paul, after sprint planning, right, there will be a daily stand-up every day, right? Every day there will be status meetings. This is called as daily stand-ups in agile methodology. A daily stand-up will last for 15 minutes max, 15 to 20 minutes. So they will discuss what are your current plans. Developer should tell, hey, my plan is to I'm planning to work on this. This happens every day. Let's say today you are having a meeting. I'm conducting a meeting and you are the resources working in your project. Now I'll just say, now let's say we have joined for the meeting. Then I'll just say, hey, good morning team. How are things going on? So you always see me whenever I start my session, I always wish good morning, good evening, right? That's the way the meeting should start. So that's the way we wish the team and say one by one, let's say you're all working, then I'll pick one person, example, Rajalakshmi or Satish or whoever it is. They say, what is going on? What is your plan to do? Now you should tell, hey, I, today I'm planning to work on this particular ticket. Just this guys. Okay, today I'm planning to work on this particular ticket. I'm planning to have this meeting, blah, 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 he'll tell. Then he'll ask to complete the ticket. Are you finding any difficult? Do you need any help? Do you need any access details? Do you need any database details? Do you need any application details? Or do you need any clarification from customer? Do you face any blockers? So no, I don't have any blockers and I'll be working on it, right? So this is how we start with developer. Same with testing team. Testing team, what is your plan? You should tell, right? I'm going to write the test cases for this requirement. Today I'm writing this. I'm going to send for the review. I have certain doubts in writing the test cases. I'll connect with the product owner for more question. So whatever is your plan for that particular day will be discussed in the standard meeting. It's a quick, everyone will have a less than a minute or 2 minutes to discuss. So all will get 1-2 minutes time to give their status for that particular day. So daily stand-up might happen beginning of the day. Daily stand-up might happen end of the day. Depends on geographical location. Now, example, I'm working in Australian projects. My team is spread across Australia. My team is spread across Philippines. Now I'll have a stand-up call, right, in the morning. Right? Indian time morning, it means already it is a afternoon for the Australian. So the Philippines are 2 hours behind. No, so I'll try to have a stand-up call early in the morning. That's where I woke up 3:30, 4 o'clock, so that Australian will have somewhere around 8 or 8:30 in the morning. So we can assign the work in the morning so that things are not delayed. If I set up a stand-up call by afternoon and one developer is saying, hey manager, I'm blocked. I need access for this application. If I don't get this access for this application, I cannot work. So half day is wasted. So because of this, I connect to the Australian team in the morning hours of their time. So 8 maximum I'll connect with them 8 o'clock. It means we are 5 hours behind. So it's 3:34 o'clock. I'll have a stand-up call with them. right? So that is how your Scrum Master or the project manager will have a stand-up call. Very important that need to attend the stand-up call. Very important that need to be well prepared. See, well preparation in advance is very, very important in IT. Very, very important. So that's where the follow-ups are very important. Your preparation is very important. That's where you see my messages. I remind for you for the class. I remind you for the assessment. I remind you for the assessment on this day. I remind you that is how the follow-up should happen, right? And as a person or the person who's planning to attend the assessment, you should plan in advance. Vinod told me or my manager told me that this is an assignment. Am I prepared for this? What all things are required for this? What are my dependencies? I need to have a internet connection. I need to have a laptop. I need to have a video working properly. I need to have this. Everything should be prepared much in advance before for the actual assignment date or actual task delivery date. Now, let's say in the stand-up call today morning, right? So you did not join 2 days for the stand-up call, and you're joining today for the stand-up call. I'm asking you what is the status of the task. I've assigned you a task 2 days back. What is the status? And you're telling me, no, we're not sorry. Actually, I need the credentials for this in order to test the application. Then I'll say, were you sleeping since 2 days? What were you doing since 2 days? Why you have not raised the flag, right? That you are logged for this application. You need the username. So it means you have not properly planned your assessment. You have not properly planned your task. You did not plan what you need for the task. So that means you're ignoring your task. You're ignoring what is being advised to do. You're ignoring what is the project demands. You're ignoring yourself by not showing the interest toward the task. That will start more concentration on you by the Scrum Master. From that time onwards, your manager or Scrum Master will have a closer look on your way of working. Then the micromanagement starts. What were you doing since last 1 hour? What were you doing since last 2 hours? So please make sure before going for a stand-up call, before attending any meeting, before attending for any task, before attending any discussions, it might be any discussions also, you should go well prepared. You just can't go for the meeting blindly and say, I'm thinking what to ask. I don't have any doubts. So it is a disaster. Guys, please make sure daily stand-up is very, very important. You need to know what happens in daily stand-up. Okay, the next one is the sprint review. So again, it is a review which is attached by sprint. Now we know sprint planning. Planning happens in the SDLC phase, right? You know what is a review. Review is something you will check what is the validity. You check how the things are happening. Same way, sprint review, it means whatever is worked inside the sprint, whatever is agreed inside the sprint, it is a two requirements out of 10. Those requirements are properly developed. A Scrum Master will have a call with everyone in the team, or your project manager will have everyone in the team, a video conference call, and he'll open the Jira ticket. He'll open the requirement gathering tool. It might be a Jira or a management tool, right? He'll open, right? Example, two requirements have two tickets. He'll open the first ticket and he'll ask the developer, hey, what is the ticket status that did you develop? He said, yes, sir, I have developed. Can you show me the development what you have done? Then he'll share the screen, he'll share the video call, and he will walk you through the whatever is the development work done. Then the Scrum Master will validate it. Okay, we are good with this ticket one. Then same he'll ask at the ticket two, particular developer. A developer, did you develop the second requirement? Then he will validate against the product, against the sprint backlog, right? So you'll see whether the one which is developed is following the sprint backlog document, right? Once the confirmation comes from developer, then he'll ask a tester, hey tester, have you developed the test cases for requirement one? Hey tester two, have you done the test cases for the requirement two? Can you share the screen? Can you give me a walkthrough? Then as a tester, you should show the screen. You should give him a walkthrough of what is, and it is very, very important, guys. Every call in the project is a video call. Every call, every call that you have with the manager, every call with your customer, every call with your business analyst, everything, it is a screen sharing with the video call. Do not forget this. This is a basic rule. People will uh, consider you as a fake if you keep hiding your face, keep hiding your video. Okay, right. Now, this sprint review, once the developer confirms the development properly done, once the tester confirms the test cases are completed, then the sprint review is completed. Right now, before the customer, right? Sorry, just before the sprint review is completed. Now sprint is ready. Correct. Sprint is ready. Now it it is depends on how the Scrum Master wants to take, right? How the Scrum Master wants to take the process forward. Okay. Now, what do you mean? What do I mean? Right? Guys, you're following, or you just you're following?
Yes, we know.
Following.
Yes, we do.
Yes, Vinod.
Sure, right? I mean, let me know if you have any doubts. I'll just again give you understanding. Okay. And silence is again, everything. That's where silence is, right? I'll go with the further. Now, once the review is completed, right? The small piece, like small sprint, the sprint is ready with the two requirements. Then the demo is completed. Then the Scrum Master will approach for the product owner and say, "Hey, product owner, we are ready with the demo, and can we have a demo date?" So product owner will give, "Okay, tomorrow we'll have a demo date." So your Scrum Master will conduct a dry run just before the live demo. He'll set up a meeting and he'll ask the most of the time. Remember, guys, again, most of the time the demo is given by the QA team. Most of the time, the demo is given by the QA person. So I always tell you, I am always repeatedly telling you, you should practice presenting yourself. You should practice how you give demo in the video calls. You should practice how you give demo. Right? Just imagine, what if customers sitting in front of you in a conference room, 20, 30 people will be in the conference room, and you will be giving the demo in front of all of them. What will be that in that situation? What will you do? You will say, my camera not working. Today my milkman did not came. Today my laptop is not working. Today my laptop is not charged. Today my mobile network is not working. Today, it was working since yesterday. Now it is not working. My husband is checking. This is working. My brother is checking. You can't tell all these silly reasons when the project is running, when you're going for a demo, right? This all should be checked prior to your task assigned. So QA is very, very important. You should be having a proper planning before any task. And trust me, if something happens on the sprint demo along with the customer, you will be first person to be terminated from the company. I'm telling you, it is straightforward. Hiring a testing team is very, very difficult to get the right person on the project. But if something goes wrong, first team will be affected is a QA team. So please make sure, out of all those people, you should fix your position in the project so that they don't remove you for any kind of a unnecessary situation. So for that, you need to be very, very good in communication, very, very good in presenting, very, very good in handling things. Right. So once the dry run is completed, in dry run, QA team will give an actual walkthrough. So Scrum Master will check how the demo is happening, whether someone is losing the confidence, how the screen is shared, how the video is shared, how the things are being discussed, how frequently, how confidently we are giving the presentation. Everything will be checked, and Scrum Master will give you a advice. Hey, tester, please make sure you follow these guidelines. Please correct your mic. Please correct your video. Please correct the way you are telling this sentence. Please correct the way you are projecting it. Please correct the way you are presenting it. You need so this kind of suggestions, uh, Scrum Master might give you. Once the dry run is completed on the day of sprint demo, right? So all the teams, guys, so you see from the project, every day you interact with only one or two customers from the project. But on the sprint demo, you see 20, 30 people joining the call. Means there are people, they're all from the business team, all from the business team, right? Whoever is interested in this project, they're all will join it. And there will be too many questions asked on the sprint demo. So you should, if the QA should answer all those questions, it means he should be very, very thorough, very, very thorough with the requirements, thorough with the functionality that they have tested. Thorough, you should know, example, if you should know, example, if it is a Gmail, if it is Gmail application, it is being worked. Now, if you have only tested the login page and inbox page, those are only two requirements. Now, customer is questioning you why the sent mail page is not being displayed. It is throwing an error page. Can you open sent mail? If he is asking too many questions, you should be very, very confident, very polite, very diplomatic. You should say that, this is right now we are working only on two requirements. The scope of this demo is only those two requirements. The sent mail is being worked on the next sprint. So there are a lot of questions like this asked in the sprint demo. Because the QA is the person who is going to give the demo, he should be having thorough knowledge on the functionality, thorough knowledge on what is the behavior, thorough knowledge on what is in scope, thorough knowledge on what is out of scope, right? So once the demo is completed, right, so customer will give you some feedback that it might be anything, it might be technical, it might be behavioral, it might be the way the demo is conducted, there might be good things, right? There might be a lot of good things also. Demo was excellent, demo was this, demo was that, but we need this, we need that. So there might be lot of good things. There might be lot of bad things. There might be different people who are interested in the project. They might give you some suggestions. They might give you some advices. They might tell you what to do in the next demo. So all things will be considered. As a Scrum Master, he'll make a note of all those things. As it's a recorded call, he will also listen one more time to get those feedback and suggestions. Once he get all those things, he will conduct a meeting called retrospective meeting, what you see on the last one. Right? The retrospective meeting is something what went good in the demo or what went good while the sprint was in progress, while development, what went good, while testing, what went good, while demo to the customer, what customer has given good feedback, and also while sprint is progress, what went bad, while testing in progress, what went bad, while demo was in progress, what went bad. Though all things will be discussed in the retrospective meeting, all goods, all bads, all positives, all negatives are discussed in the sprint retrospective meeting to make sure all good things are implemented going forward. The same positiveness will carry forward. All negative things should be avoided in the next sprint onwards. That is where the retrospective meeting is conducted at the last of the sprint. This will be an interview question. People will ask how frequently you have this retrospective meeting. If you are a fake, if you don't have a knowledge, people will say retrospective meeting happens beginning of the sprint. Retrospective meeting happens in the middle of the sprint. If you are a genuine person, if you have a genuine knowledge, you will say retrospective meeting happens in the last day of the sprint. After the sprint is completed, then we'll have a retrospective meeting. Then there'll be a question, what happens in the retrospective meeting? All goods and bads are discussed. What are things which happen good, right? Again, this points, good and bad, feedbacks, suggestions, everything will be documented in a document called as lessons learned document by the Scrum Master or by the project manager. Lessons learned document, LESS, lesson learn document. So that will have, because the document will help us how to achieve the the next sprint successfully. If we have any blockers, what was the solution that we did in the last sprint? The document will help us to achieve all those obstacles in managing the sprint. Okay, right? So this is what we have just discussed: sprint planning, daily stand-up, sprint review, right? Retrospective meeting. Any questions on this Scrum ceremonies, guys? These are very important. These are the lot more things happens in the very minor level, but these are the high level ones. Any doubts in this?
No, Vinod.
No.
What is the document, Vinod? Lesson?
Lessons learned document.
Learn document.
Yes, lessons learned document.
Who will be involved in retrospective meetings?
What who was in that question?
Anita. All the people or
Not everyone. See,
everyone?
if all good things happens, then right, all the testers will be involving, developers will be involving, right? And BA, if you're having BA, product owner, everyone will be involving in that meeting. And the feedbacks, obviously, it will be taken from the demos, sprint demos. Everything will be discussed in one place, and that is followed. Okay, all right.
In daily stand-up meetings, BA will not be involved, right?
In Agile, I never told about BA.
Sorry.
See, please be attentive in what we are discussing. Okay, we blindly don't ask any questions. I never took a word of BA. I said it is only a Scrum Master. I said it's only a product owner. Okay, so whatever, see, SDLC process is having a different naming convention. Agile will have a different naming convention. So I told it is a Scrum team, which is a developers, a testers, right? Unlike it is, if it is a hybrid model in companies, they following Agile, but they follow waterfall model, they follow everything. So there is no proper process followed. But in the proper Agile methodology, there is no BA. Only a Scrum Master who plays a role of BA. BA, Scrum Master, Project Manager is one and the same in the Agile. Any questions further? Right.
No, Vinod.
Let's wait a slide. A minute.
Who is Scrum Master, Vinod?
Sorry, what is that?
Who is Scrum Master?
Scrum Master is a Scrum as a person is like a project manager. It is like a BA who manages the project. Scrum Master, the
Is it?
name Scrum Master is like a project manager who manages project, who makes sure that Scrum ceremonies are followed. Now we know what is a Scrum ceremony, right?
Yes.
So all those Scrum ceremonies are followed. Okay, so let me complete this slide. By then we'll be completing the. Let me know what you see on the screen.
Scrum.
Scrum.
Right? Scrum. Okay. Now I keep saying Scrum framework is implemented. It means there are Scrum ceremonies that are followed. Now we'll see what is the process, how does it goes, and what happens in each time. Now we know there is a product owner. Correct? We know there is a product owner. What he does, he will gather all the requirements from the customer. Generally, he is from the customer side only. Okay, he gathers all the requirements in one place. He prepares a document, right? Document called as product backlog. Okay, he prepares a document called as product backlog. Now, the first three the color different is there, right? The product owner said the first three are the important one. The product owner has prioritized the requirements. Out of all the requirements, he said first three are 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2, 3, 4 or 2, 1, whatever. numbers. He says these are all important, right? So product owner. So you need to understand the complete process. Who prepares the product owner? Sorry, who prepares the product backlogs? Who is the product owner? What is his job? What is his role? What is a product backlog? What it contains? Everything you should know it. Okay. Right. Now, once the product owner prepares the product backlog documents, once he says that out of these hundreds of requirements inside the product backlog, you need to work on these 3 or 4 only. It means product owner will prioritize the requirements. Okay. Now, whatever is being prioritized, that will move into the that will move into the that will move into the sprint backlog. That will move into the sprint backlog. Sprint backlog is again a document which has the deliverables that needs to be developed and fixed. Got it? Now till the product backlog, product owner plays an important role. From the sprint backlog, right? The Scrum Master comes into picture and start analyzing the sprint. Now, who are all those Scrum team, right? Just discussed. Anywhere between 5 to 10 people, all the developers, testers, product owner, right? Scrum Master, everyone will be called as a Scrum team. Okay, but ideally, product owner is from customer side. So we call a Scrum Master, a developers, a testers as a Scrum team. Now, what they do depends on the timelines, depends on what customer wants, depends on what Scrum Master has decided. Whether it is a 2 week sprint, whether it is a 1 month sprint, whether it is a 2 month sprint, right? The cycle, I showed you, right? Agile cycle, planning, designing, development, testing, feedback, everything will be done. That's where you see this iteration. So it will keep on iterating, right? Once the one cycle is completed, the demo will be given to the customer. Now, what is that next one? Right? The Scrum Master will manage the whole sprints. Now, what happens in the daily Scrum meeting? Daily Scrum meeting, they'll discuss what done since last meeting, plans for today, any blockers for the plan. So we are just discussed. So daily stand-up meeting, what happens? Who all will be joining? All the Scrum team will be there along with the product owner. Maybe if customer wants that, he wants to include in that meeting. Otherwise, it is within the agile team internal meeting with the Scrum Master. Right now, once the 2 requirements are developed, right? Once the sprint backlog has once the sprint backlog has the uh, requirements, then the developers, the Scrum team will start working on it. Once it is ready, as we just discussed, right? Sprint review is completed. So we'll see Scrum Master will verify this the validity of that, how it is actually being developed. They will see whether the work has been completed, everything has been reviewed. Once it is reviewed, then we'll have a demo and we'll ship the code or do a deployment based on the customer request. Right? Any doubts in the overall process? Now you understand where you fit into this complete process. Where you fit in?
Once again, question, please,
No, in the whole process as a tester, where you will fit yourself here?
This last stage.
Where? Which one?
Scrum team, 1 to 2 testers. And
Yeah,
last
in the Scrum
testing,
team, in the Scrum team, you all will be coming into picture.
yes.
Once the sprint begins, you start writing the test cases. Once the sprint is reviewed, right? By the time the review happens, you'll be completing the testing also. Once the sprint review completes, then there will be a sprint demo to the customer. Once demo is completed, then the deployment happens based on what customer needs it. Okay, guys, any doubts on this, please?
Once again, demo is done by QA team, right?
Yeah, demo is a given to the
Ah,
customers
given.
by the QA team. Yeah, most of the time it is QA team only. Developers will not give any demo. So you need to have a thorough knowledge, good communication skills, good presentation skills, good handling skills. We should have it to handle the demo. That will only come when you practice. All right. Any further questions, please?
No, Vinod.
No, Vinod.
All right.
No,
Thanks,
Vinod.
everyone. I think by this we have completed the agile and how it is being worked. And let me tell you, next how many days we'll have more and we'll complete the process. Give me 1 minute. Reports is done. Okay. So maximum we can complete, right? In next 2 to 3 days. Next 2 to 3 days, we can complete the course. So I've completed all the important ones and the required ones. So I'll see. Ideally, in manual testing, there is nothing left out. We have covered what it be. And for the bonus point, for the like, if so, will tomorrow, Saturday, right? Tomorrow, Saturday. Yeah, so tomorrow and after tomorrow, we can complete the manual testing. Okay. So that's again a bonus point, bonus discussions, bonus session that I'll generally wanted to give you separately. Whatever has been agreed, but I want to give you a little bit more information. What needs to be uh, there along with the manual testing, what you should have, so that you can prepare yourself. Okay, so this. Okay, what I'll do is, what's his name? Okay, Sai, I want your help. Okay, what you do is, so whatever topics that we have discussed,
Okay.
whatever topics has been covered so far in all the sessions, you uh, right, just make a list, and can you send me the list of topics that we have covered?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
and if you need help, we have a WhatsApp group, right? You people can share it to Sai. If you are really interested, I don't want to keep ask you, right? Uh, anyway, this session is completed, so hence we'll stop the recording.